Hello friends, good evening. Am I audible? Please somebody ping me. Good evening Dipesh. Good evening Juhi. Good evening Monica. Please somebody ping me if I'm audible. Hello friends, good evening. Am I audible? Please somebody. Yes, please ping me anybody. Good evening Mahesh. Yes, please somebody ping me if I'm audible so that I can start the lecture. Okay, thank you Mahesh. Okay, now welcome to Academy. Welcome to Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. Let's crack UPSC CSE English. Now, before I start with one of the major topics today, that is Gupta Empire Part 1, let me introduce myself. My name is Alok Ojha. I have done my engineering from Pune. I have been associated with the field of UPSC since past 6 to 6.5 years. I hold the experience of going through various stages of civil services exam. I hold the experience of giving CDS SSB twice. I hold the experience of exams like CAPF Assistant Commandant, Uttar Pradesh PSC, and EPFO exam. I have been involved into the field of teaching since past 4 years. And in these past 4 years, I have mentored more than 10,000 students. Now, before I start with the Gupta Empire Part 1, let me introduce you to the platform. Now, there might be question in the mind of an aspirant why one should prefer Unacademy as a platform for online learning. So here are the ample of reasons why one should prefer Unacademy as a platform for online learning. First of all, you'll have daily live classes on the Unacademy platform. Unacademy offers you assimilation of top and dynamic educators of India on a single platform. You can directly interact with the educators, you can directly clear your doubts and any sort of queries with the educators. Second most important aspect, which I personally believe is very important for an aspirant, that is developing competence or competitiveness. Now, why competence or competitiveness is important? Let us understand this with the help of a small example. Each year, approximately around 8 to 9 lakh aspirants fill up the form for UPSC, out of which 3 to 4 lakh aspirants appear for the prelims exam, out of which 10 to 11,000 aspirants qualify the prelims exam, and 3 to 4,000 aspirants qualify the mains exam. And finally, 1,000 odd make into the final list. So if I filter it down, how many students filled up the form? 8 to 9 lakh. How many made into the final list? Approximately around 1,000. So an aspirant needs to understand that one aspirant is competing with 800 to 900 other aspirants. And he's not competing on the basis of a district. He's competing on pan India basis. Are you getting the points clear? He's competing at all India level. That is why it is necessary for an aspirant to develop that sort of competence. Hope so the point is clear. Now, all the courses on Unacademy platform are highly structured in nature and there is a proper timetable through which the courses are being conducted. And one can have unlimited access to the courses on Unacademy platform. And finally, these are the few top educators of India from whom you're going to learn through. These are the courses being offered on the Unacademy platform. Please subscribe to Unacademy and use my code AKOUS. I repeat, subscribe to Unacademy and use my code AKOUS. Okay. Good evening, Meher. Good evening, Ramkumar. Good evening, Satya. Good evening, Monica. Good evening, Siddharth. Good evening, Raghupati. Good evening, Sumit. And hi, everyone. Now, for the people who are new on the platform and who are attending my sessions for the first time, now let me introduce the pattern through which we will be going to the entire course of history. Now, I follow a very simplistic pattern for the subject of history because there is a myth in the mind of an aspirant that history is a boring subject. Now, how to make history a good process of learning? So I follow a very simple pattern And that pattern is nothing but SFC, story, fact, and concept. Because I believe that if you associate fact and concept with a story, it is quite easier to remember that. Isn't that so? For example, if you're going for a movie, you remember each and every dialogue of the movie. You remember the songs of the movie. You remember the incidents of the movie. Why? Because it is in the format of a story. So if you watch my previous session, you'll come to know that understanding the fact and concept is quite easier when we correlate with it as when we correlate it with a story. Isn't that so? So please do watch my previous session on prehistoric culture, Vedic civilization, Indus Valley civilization, Mauryan Empire, and Buddhism. One more reminder for the students. Tomorrow there is a test on Unacademy platform. It is a what we say like free session. It is a special class. So please do attend the test. The test would be conducted on three major topics. And these three topics are very, very important from exam perspective. These three topics are Vedic civilization, Mauryan Empire, and Jainism. The test would be conducted sharp at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. The test would be followed by a discussion, and one can come to know many new concepts and facts in the test. Hope so the points are clear. Now let's get started with a very major dynasty, that is Gupta dynasty. Okay? Now, Mauryas and Guptas are the two major dynasties or two major empires basically of the ancient India. I'm not saying that the other political dynasties are not that important. Even they have a lot of contribution towards the ancient India. Even they have a lot of contribution towards the empire building. But the two major dynasties of the entire ancient India are Mauryas and Guptas. Now, before I start with Guptas, let me go into the flashback. Let me give you a very very small background. Okay, now let us understand this. Let me start with the human evolution in short. Now, it is said that humans appeared in the form of apes approximately around 24 million years ago. Let us understand the history in a very chronological format so that the people who are new on the platform can very easily understand this. And people who have attended my session uh, who have attended my session before this, it is a sort of revision for these guys. Okay, my friends? Okay. Now it is said that humans appeared for the first time in the form of apes approximately around 24 million years ago. Now, these apes were highly diversified. Very simple example. Now, the body anatomical structure was not same. For example, all the humans that are existing today have a similar anatomical structure. Everybody is having two hands, everybody is having two legs, everybody is having one nose, two eyes, two ears, and so on. Isn't that so? But the apes that appeared at that point of time did not had similar anatomical structure. Their backbone was highly inclined. With the passage of time, their backbone started getting erect, and they were referred as Homo erectus. Again, with the passage of time, it is said that their backbone got completely straight, and now they are called as Homo sapiens. Sapiens is a Latin word which simply means a thinking man, because the size of the body started decreasing and the size of the brain started increasing. Now, they started using their brain for various activities. For example, they started discovering fire. Now, this age is also called as Stone Age, and the early humans were highly dependent upon the tools made up of stone. Getting the points clear? That is why it is also referred as Stone Age. So they started developing stone tools. Now, why the tools were developed? The tools were developed for chopping, skinning, and digging. They were basically developed for hunting process. They were developed for process of fishing. So there was something called as development of fire. There was something called as development of stone tools. Again, with the passage of time, humans started domesticating animals. And the first animal to be domesticated was a dog. And the first evidence of domestication of a dog comes from a place called as Palestine in Israel. Getting the points clear? Now, again with the passage, and the first evidence of domestication of animal in India comes from a place called as Adamgarh, which is in Hoshangabad district of Madhya Pradesh. I have used the word Adamgarh, not Azamgarh, because Adamgarh is in Madhya Pradesh and Azamgarh is in UP. Hope so the points are clear. Now, with the passage of time, people have started practicing agriculture. Now they have started living a semi-nomadic life. Earlier, they were living a nomadic life because they were wandering from place to place in search of food and shelter. Now they have started living a semi-nomadic life because they have started living a semi-permanent life. They have started living a settled life. Why? Because they have started practicing agriculture. With the passage of time, there was a discovery of a metal called as copper, and copper was the first metal to be discovered. Now the people were moving from culture to civilization. They were living a very standardized life. They were living a very administered life and a civilized life. And this is exemplified in the form of four major civilizations of the world. And all the major civilizations of the world developed along the banks of some or the other river. Isn't that so? As we have studied, Mesopotamian civilization which developed around Central Asia. It developed on the banks of Tigris and Euphrates River. Then Egyptian civilization developed along the banks of Nile River. Then Chinese civilization developed along the banks of Yellow River. And the name itself suggests Indus Valley civilization developed along the banks of Indus River. Getting the points clear? Now it is said that with the passage of time, the entire northern part of India was invaded by certain tribes from Central Asia. Please try and understand the chronology because chronology is very, very important in the UPSC exam. Getting the points clear? Evolution of human beings followed by a civilized life in the form of Indus Valley civilization. Now let's move on with the other part of story. Hope so the points are clear till here. Is everything clear? Let's move further. Now, with the passage of time, there were certain tribes from Central Asia who came from Hindu Kush mountains, which is located on the borders of India and Afghanistan. They entered from Khyber Pass, which is located in Hindu Kush mountain, and started subjugating the natives of India, the local people of India. The, the local people of India, unable to meet their challenges, moved towards southern part of Narmada River and got settled in the southern part of India. Now, the people who got settled in the southern part of India came to be called as Dravidians. And the tribes that came from Central Asia and settled in the northern part of India came to be called as Aryans. The term Aryan has been derived from Sanskrit word Arya, which means of noble origin, and it has been used for 36 times in Rig Vedic mantras. The place where Aryans settled in the northern part of India was referred as Sapta Sindhu or Aryavarta or Brahmavarta. Getting the points clear? And the entire Vedic civilization is divided from 1500 to 600 BC. Now it is basically divided into two parts: early Vedic period and later Vedic period. Early Vedic period was from 1500 to 1000 BC, and later Vedic period was from 1000 to 600 BC. Hope so the points are clear, my friends. Now, let us go for a comparative analysis. In early Vedic period, Sati system was absent. Child marriage was absent. Caste system was prevalent, but it was not that rigidly followed. Majority of the gods during early Vedic period were nature gods, like Indra, that is god of heaven or god of rain; Varun, that is god of water; Vayu, wind god. So these are basically nature gods. There was more emphasis on prayers and less emphasis on rites and rituals. King was chosen by the people. Getting the points clear? King was chosen by the village assembly. That is why king was referred as Janasya or Gop. All these features are of early Vedic period. Are you getting the points clear? Now, women were allowed to participate in the village assemblies. So in very simple words, women were part of decision making process. But things got drastically changed in the later Vedic period. There was decline in the status and dignity of women. Sati system became prevalent. Child marriage became prevalent. Caste system was very, very rigidly followed. Then king started expanding his territory. King started following the policy of imperialism. Land became the most important form of wealth. Initially, cattle was the most important form of wealth during early Vedic period. But in later Vedic period, land became the most important form of wealth and king started expanding his territory. Getting the points clear? The importance of prayers declined. And then there was again the importance of what we say empty rites and ritual. Kings started performing various yagnas for expanding their territories. For example, Ashwamedh Yagna. And now the entire northern part of India became the battleground for 16 major kingdoms. And these are referred in the historical text as Solash Mahajanpad or 16 great kingdoms. Majority of the kingdom, that is 15 kingdoms, are located in the northern part of India. And one kingdom was located in the southern part of India, that is in the region of Maharashtra. Magad was the most powerful kingdom among the 16 Mahajanpad. And there were three major dynasties ruling over the region of Magad in succession. First was Haranyaka dynasty. Listen to me very carefully, my friends. You'll understand the chronology till Guptas. First was Haranyaka dynasty. Haranyaka dynasty was followed by Shishunag dynasty. Shishunag dynasty was followed by Mauryan dynasty. Shishunag dynasty was followed by Nanda dynasty. And the last Nanda ruler, whose name was Dhananand, was dethroned by Chandragupta Maurya. And there was rise of a major empire in the Patliputra in the form of Mauryan Empire. Hope so the points are clear. Now, after Mauryan Empire, there was a rise of another major empire, that is Shunga dynasty. Pushyamitra Shunga was founder of Shunga dynasty, and Shunga dynasty was a Brahmin dynasty. Getting the points clear? Shunga dynasty was succeeded by another major dynasty, that was Kanwa dynasty. And Kanwa dynasty was also a Brahmin dynasty, which was succeeded by Satwahan dynasty. Are you getting the chronology, my friends? I'll repeat. Mauryan dynasty, followed by Shunga dynasty, followed by Kanwas, followed by Satvahans, and there were many more small principal dynasties. There were many more small provincial dynasties, and there was a rise of a major dynasty around 300 AD in the form of Gupta Empire. Hope so the points are clear till here. Did you understood the background? Is everything clear? Yes. Dipesh, you have asked me a question. 16 Mahajanpad mentioned in Anguttara Nikaya. 16 Mahajanpad is not only mentioned in Buddhist text. It finds mention in Rig Veda. It finds mention in Atharva Veda. It finds mention in Kautilya's Arthashastra. It finds mention in Jain text. It finds mention in many of the Buddhist texts. Hope so I have answered your question, Dipesh. Yes, my friends. Are the things clear till here? Okay. Now let's move further with the Gupta dynasty. Another very interesting dynasty, another very major dynasty from exam perspective. Now let us understand. 90% of the students know that Chandragupta I was the founder of Gupta dynasty. But no, my friends, the founder of Gupta dynasty was Sri Gupta. Now, how come we know about Sri Gupta? We come to know about Sri Gupta from Pune copper inscription. Now, let us understand. There was a local ruler whose name was Ghatotkach. And Sri Gupta was son of Ghatotkach. And Sri Gupta became the founder of Gupta dynasty. Now, it is said that he has been mentioned in the writings of a Chinese traveler, Yi Jing. I repeat, he has been mentioned in the writings of Chinese traveler, Yi Jing. Now, there was a ruler whose name, in the coming years, there was a ruler whose name was Chandragupta II. And Chandragupta II had a daughter named as Prabhavati Gupta. And there is a inscription dedicated to the daughter of Chandragupta too, that is Prabhavati Gupta, at a place called as Pune, and that is referred as Pune copper inscription. And in that inscription, it is mentioned that Shri Gupt, or that is Maharaj Shri Gupt, was the founder of Gupta dynasty. From here, we come to know that Maharaj Shri Gupt was the founder of Gupta dynasty. Hope so the points are clear. I'll repeat the point again. I'll repeat the points again, my friends. Listen to me very carefully. Are you getting the points? Listen to me. This person, in the coming days, Chandragupta was one of the major ruler of Gupta dynasty. He had a daughter named as Prabhavati Gupta, and an inscription is dedicated to Prabhavati Gupta at a place called as Pune, which is referred as Pune copper inscription. Hope so the points are clear. And in the Pune copper inscription, it is mentioned that Shri Gupta was the founder of Gupta dynasty. From here, we come to know that Shri Gupta is the actual founder of Gupta dynasty. Are you getting the points clear? Now it is said that, as I've said, Yi Jing was a Chinese traveler who has mentioned the name of Shri Gupta in his travel log. And he has mentioned that the ruler Shri Gupta was a very compassionate ruler. Getting the points clear? Now, basically, there are three forms of Hinduism. Somebody believe in worship of Ram. Somebody believe in worship of Lord Shiva. And some believe in the worship of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. The worshippers of Shiva are called as Shaivites, and they are basically following the sect of Shaivism. The worshippers of Lord Ram or Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu are called as Vaishnavites. Getting the points clear? Are referred as Vaishnavites, and they belong to Vaishnavism sect of Hinduism. Are you getting the points clear? In very simple words, worshipper of Lord Shiva are Shaivites. Worshipper of Vishnu or worshipper of Krishna are referred, or worshipper of Ram are referred as Vaishnavites. So in very simple words, Gupta rulers followed Vaishnavism because they were staunch worshipper of Lord Vishnu. But it does not mean that if they worshipped Lord Vishnu or they followed Vaishnavism, they disrespected other religion. It is not like that. They always respected all the religion. How it is exemplified? It is exemplified that now a special, what we say, guest room was constructed in the form of Mriga Shikhavan. Getting the points clear? A special temple was constructed in the form of Mriga Shikhavan. A special dharmashala was constructed for the pilgrims who were coming from China to a place called as Bodh Gaya. Are you getting the points clear? So this simply exemplifies that although these rulers were staunch followers of Vaishnavism, they also respected other religions. So hope so the points are clear about Shri Gupt. So how come the question comes in the exam? How come the question comes in the exam? Let us understand this. Consider the following statement about Shri Gupt. Now, Shri Gupt was not the founder of Gupta dynasty or not the first ruler of Gupta dynasty. First statement. Second statement. We come to know about Shri Gupt from Mehroli pillar inscription. Which among the two statements are correct? My friends, both the statements are wrong. None of them are correct. Getting the points clear? Because Shri Gupta was the founder of Gupta dynasty. And we come to know about him from Pune copper inscription and not from Mehroli pillar inscription. Hope so the points are clear, my friends. Yes, Dipesh, Shaivism and Lingayats are a part of Shaivism. Now, basically, if we go for Shaivism, getting the points clear, Shaivites are basically further divided into many other subcategories. Like some are Lingayats, then some are basically Gorakhnathis. Getting the points clear. Now, there are various other sect of it. So, we are going to see that in detail in the culture part. Let us focus on Guptas. Hope so the point is clear. Dipesh, I have answered your question. Did you get the point, Sri Gupta, my friends? Everybody? Okay. Now let's move on with the other major ruler, Chandragupta 1. Now listen to me very carefully. As I've told you previously, it is not necessary for a ruler to always fight a battle to get over control of any kingdom. King can also conquer that kingdom by entering into matrimonial alliances. If you remember the lecture of Mahajanpads, I have already told you one thing. The rulers of Magad majorly followed the policy of matrimonial alliances for expanding their kingdom. Getting the points clear? For example, if a ruler continuously keeps on fighting the battle, there would be loss of men and material even though he is successful. Isn't that so? So, to prevent that loss of men and material, rulers basically enter into the policy of matrimonial alliances. And Chandragupta I was one among them. He always followed the policy of marriage alliances or matrimonial alliances to strengthen his position. And the name Gupta itself suggests Guptas were basically trading class. If I go to the hierarchy of the Varna system, as per Manusmriti, there are four castes: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. As per Manusmriti, the duty of a Brahmin is to maintain morality or dharma in the society. Then, the duty of a Kshatriya is to protect the society. Vaishyas are basically trading class. They carry on business and trading activities in the society. And as per Manusmriti, the role of Shudras is to serve the higher three sections of the society. So are you getting the points clear? So Guptas belong to Vaishya, that is trading class. And marriage with a Kshatriya or Brahmin was considered as a matter of honor for them, was considered as a matter of privilege for them. So Chandragupta I majorly followed the policy of entering into matrimonial alliances. Now it is said that he married Lichavi princess. Getting the points clear? And he got Patliputra in dowry. And Patliputra is nothing but modern day Patna, which is located in Bihar. Hope so the points are clear, my friends. It is nothing but modern day Patna. So he married a Lichavi princess whose name was Kumar Devi, and he received Patliputra in dowry. And Patliputra was center of trade and commerce, was center of defense, and was center of all commercial activities during the ancient India. So Gupta kingdom became one of the most wealthiest kingdom at that time. Getting the points clear? He assumed the title Maharaja Dhiraj, that is King of Kings. And we come to know about this person, that is Chandragupta I, from Mehrauli iron pillar inscription, which is located near Delhi. And he was the founder of Gupta era, that is 320 AD. Hope so the points are clear. And in the Mehrauli pillar inscription, come about how he followed the policy of expansion, which all kingdoms came under his sway. All these things have been mentioned at Mehrauli iron pillar inscription. Hope so the points are clear. Are you getting the points clear? So this is all about Chandragupta I. So what sort of questions can be asked in the prelims exam? Who was the founder of Gupta era? So it was Chandragupta I. We come to know about Chandragupta I from which inscription? So we come to know about him from Mehrauli iron pillar inscription, which is near Delhi. So all these sorts of questions have been asked in the prelims exam and can also be repeated again. So hope so the points about Chandragupta I is clear. Did you understand everything about Chandragupta I? Any query, any doubt, any question? Okay. Yes, Kalyan. Yes, Kalyan. You have a question. What was majorly the script? The script was Brahmi script. Getting the points clear? There were various script being employed at that point of time, and majorly the script was Brahmi script. Hope so the points are clear, Kalyan. Yes, my friends. Any query, any doubt? Are the points clear? Yes, as I have told you, Kalyan, you have asked me the language which was used in the script. The language that was dominant during this period was Sanskrit language. Now, let me talk about one more thing. Kalyan, you came up with a very good topic now. Listen to me very carefully. Now, after what we say that during the modern period, there was rise of Buddhism and Jainism. And Buddhism and Jainism were basically offshoots of Shramana movement. Now, listen to me very carefully. Buddhism and Jainism were offshoot of Shramana movement, which was against the practices of empty rites and rituals of Hinduism. I have used the word they were against the practices or rites and rituals of Hinduism. They were not against Hinduism. Getting the points clear? So after the period after decline of Mauryas until the rise of Gupta was the period of Buddhism and Jainism. And with the rise of Guptas, basically Hinduism was again revived. Getting the points clear? And again, the most dominant language was Sanskrit. Hope so the points are clear. Hope so, Kalyan, I have answered your question. Yes, Sukanya, you have asked me a question. Who was Ghatotkach? Ghatotkach was father of Sri Gupt and he was a local ruler. Getting the points clear? Hope so I have answered your question, everyone. So did everyone understand Sri Gupt? Did everyone understand Chandragupta 1 so that I can move further? Please let me know. Yes, please. Okay, so let's move further. Very, very important ruler from exam perspective. And personally speaking, even I am quite influenced by this ruler, Samudragupta. Now, two of the rulers who are my favorite in the entire ancient India, one is Ashok and the other one is Samudragupta. Exemplary courage being exhibited by Samudragupta, most powerful ruler of the entire Gupta dynasty. Forget about entire Gupta dynasty, he is also considered as the most powerful ruler of the entire ancient India, along with Ashok. So Ashok and Samudragupta are the two important rulers of basically entire ancient India. Getting the points clear? A very, very important ruler from exam perspective. Let us understand him. Now, Mahesh, we are going in a hierarchical way itself. Are you getting the points clear? Ghatotkach, he was a local ruler. His son's name was Sri Gupt. He founded Gupta dynasty. Sri Gupt was succeeded by his son, whose name was Chandragupta I. Chandragupta I was succeeded by his son, whose name was Samudragupta. Hope so, Mahesh, you got the chronology till here. Okay? Okay. Now let us understand Samudragupta. As I have said you, Chandragupta I was succeeded by his son, whose name was Samudragupta. And Samudragupta ruled for approximately around 45 years. It is said that Samudragupta was referred as Napoleon of India. Now, he followed the ruthless policy of expansion. Getting the points clear? He was an aggressive ruler. He followed a very, very ruthless policy of expansion. He continuously kept on expanding his kingdom. Now, it is said that he had a lot many enemies and he had categorized his enemies now. Are you getting the points clear? Now, it is said that when Samudragupta came to power, he had lot many enemies. There were many enemies in the northern part of India. There were many tribal republics, that is small kingdom, who were his enemies. There were many kingdoms who were in the forest region. They became his enemy. Now he decided that rather than fighting individually with his enemies, he fought. Now it is said that all the enemies formed an alliance against this person, Samudragupta. So you can imagine how powerful was Samudragupta. Isn't that so? For example, if Samudragupta is attacking one kingdom, Samudragupta has completely smashed that kingdom. Getting the points clear? Now all other 7 to 8 kingdom formed an alliance against Samudragupta. Getting the points clear? And with an alliance, they have started attacking the Gupta ruler Samudragupta. But still, Samudragupta showed exemplary valor and courage and defeated all the major kingdoms. Getting the points clear? Now it is said that he defeated 12 major kingdoms of the northern part of India. He defeated 9 tribal republics. He defeated many kingdoms of the eastern part of India. He defeated many kingdoms of the forest regions. So all these annexations that he have made has been mentioned in Allahabad pillar inscription. And Allahabad pillar inscription basically talks about the conquest of Samudragupta. And this pillar inscription is basically dedicated to Samudragupta. And who has written in the what we say Allahabad pillar inscription? It was written by Hari Sen. And Hari Sen was one of the major members of the court of Samudragupta. Getting the points clear? Samudragupta followed a very ruthless policy of expansion. He is referred as Napoleon of India. He brought various major kingdoms of northern part of India, tribal regions, forest region, and southern part of India and into under his subjugation. And all this has been mentioned in Allahabad pillar inscription, which belongs to Hari Sen. And Hari Sen is one of the what we say members of the court of Samudragupta. And he has mentioned about his master in Allahabad pillar inscription. So it is very, very important from exam perspective. Are you getting the points clear? Now, are you getting the points clear? Now, so these are the major kingdoms that were annexed by this ruler. Now it is said that he was such a confident ruler, he was such a wonderful ruler. He said that in his inscription, it is described in Allahabad pillar inscription, he is described as Dharni Band and Chakravartin. Now what are these terminologies? He said that if the universe is one, if the earth is one, there should be one ruler of this earth, and this ruler would be me. Getting the points clear? Such an exemplary confidence, such an exemplary courage by Samudragupta. Are you getting the points clear? If the entire earth is one, that is Dharni Band. So there should be one ruler for the entire world, and that is Chakravartin. Chakravartin basically means universal ruler or one ruler of all the four directions. Are you getting the points clear? So he had the vision to conquer the entire world like Napoleon. Are you getting the points clear? Now, it is also said that in Allahabad pillar inscription, he is compared to various Vedic gods. Like he is also compared to Yam, that is god of death. He is compared to Indra, that is the god of heaven. So basically, he is compared to various Vedic gods. Now, as I have told you basically, that Gupta rulers were Vaishnavites. They believed in the worship of Lord Vishnu. Getting the points clear? But still they respected other religions. And one of the major religion was Buddhism. Now it is said that there was a ruler of Sri Lanka whose name was Meghavarman. He wanted to construct a monastery at a place called as Bodh Gaya, so that the pilgrims who are coming from Ceylon or Sri Lanka can stay at that place, or the monks that are coming from Sri Lanka or Ceylon can come and stay at that place. Are you getting the points clear? And in that case, he wanted to acquire the permission from Samudragupta to construct a monastery at this place, at Bodh Gaya. Are you getting the points clear? Now, Samudragupta not only granted him the permission, he also gave him all sorts of support for constructing a monastery at a place called as Bodh Gaya. Are you getting the points clear? Now, it is said that this person, in majority of the coins, when you will see the coins related to Samudragupta, he is shown, now listen to me, he is shown performing Ashwamedh Yagna. Getting the points clear? Now, as I have told you, Ashwamedh Yagna is basically performed to expand one's kingdom. Are you getting the points clear? So, in one of his coins, he is shown performing Ashwamedh Yagna. Getting the points clear? And the horse that he has used for Ashwamedh Yagna, a statue of horse was also made at that time, around 300 AD. Are you getting the points? 320, 330 AD, a statue of horse was also made. Do you know about the process of Ashwamedh Yagna? In Ashwamedh Yagna, basically, a horse is released. Getting the points clear? And the Yagna is performed because nobody or no ruler should stop that horse. And if any ruler stops that horse, that ruler is ready to fight with the other ruler who has performed the Yagna. Hope so the point is clear. So basically the horse that was used for Ashwamedh Yagna at that time, the statue of that horse was also made. And the statue in the present day is kept at a museum in Lucknow. Getting the points clear? And it dates to the reign of Samudragupta. Hope so the points are clear. Now, Samudragupta was also very fond of Veena. Getting the point? He was fond of playing Veena. And basically, it is said that in one of his coins, he is depicted playing Veena. It has also been mentioned in Allahabad pillar inscription that in Allahabad pillar inscription, basically this person, Samudragupta, is referred as Kaviraj. Kavi means poet. Getting the points clear? So this simply exemplifies that he was also interested in something called as music. Hope so the points are clear. So this is majorly about Samudragupta, one of the major rulers of the Gupta dynasty. So how questions can be asked in the prelims exam? Let us go through it. Consider the following statements about Samudragupta. First statement. John Lubbock described Samudragupta as Napoleon of India. Second statement. We get information about Samudragupta from Allahabad pillar inscription. Which among the following statements are correct? My friends, only statement number 2 is correct. Now, what is wrong with the statement number 1? Now, he is described as Napoleon of India. True. But he has been described as Napoleon of India by Vincent Smith and not by John Lubbock. Hope so the question is clear, my friends. This is how UPSC asks question in the prelims exam. So hope so the points are clear. Which among the following Gupta rulers was described as Kaviraj? So it was Samudragupta. Why? Because he was interested in playing Veena. He was interested in producing various verses. That is why he was referred as Kaviraj. Hope so the points are clear. Any query, any doubt, any question? Yes, perfect Mahesh. Perfect Shweta. Perfect Kajal. Perfect Dipesh. Your answer is correct. That is 2. Shall I move further, guys? Yes, my friends. Shall I move further? Okay. Now let's move on with Chandragupta 2. You guys remember Chandragupta 2? If you remember about Shri Gupt, I have talked about Chandragupta 2 also. I have given a very small reference about Chandragupta 2. If you remember it, Chandragupta 2 had a daughter named as Prabhavati Gupt, and in the inscription dedicated to Prabhavati Gupt, we find the mention of Maharaj Shri Gupt. Do you remember these guys? Do you remember this? Okay. Yes, Dipesh. Uh, your question is which were the first rulers to issue gold coin? Now, prior to basic, if you are asking about Gupta period, so during Gupta period, Samudragupta issued gold coin and Chandragupta too also issued gold coin. Getting the points clear? But if we talk about the first ruler in Gupta dynasty, it would be Samudragupta. But if you talk about the ancient history, basically Kushan rulers also distributed gold coins or they also issued gold coins. Hope so the points are clear. But concerning the Gupta dynasty, it is Samudragupta. Hope so I have answered your question. Okay. Now let us understand Chandragupta too. Now listen to me very carefully. Chandragupta too basically is also referred as Vikramaditya and he was son of Samudragupta. So Samudragupta was succeeded by his son Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya. Now listen to me very carefully. Now certain historical records, listen to this story. Now certain historical records believe that Samudragupta was succeeded by Ramagupta. But few historians mention that he was succeeded by Chandragupta II. Now what is the story behind this? Let us understand. Now it is said that at par with the Gupta kingdom, one of the most powerful kingdom that was ruling in central part of India and in the western part of India was Saka ruler. Now Sakas were basically ruling for 3 to 4 centuries. Getting the points clear? And they had created havoc in the central and the western part of India. Getting the points clear? Now, Sakas came in conflict with Guptas. Listen to me. Some historians believe that Saka came in conflict with Guptas. And at that point of time, Samudragupta was succeeded by his son Ramagupta. Listen to the story, very important. Samudragupta was succeeded by Ramagupta. And now there was a battle between Gupta rulers and Saka rulers. In this battle, Gupta rulers lost the battle and Saka rulers won the battle. Now Saka rulers has created a sort of condition in front of Gupta rulers that we will give you back your entire kingdom. Just one thing you have to do. Ramagupta needs to surrender his wife, that is Queen Dhruva Devi, to Saka ruler. Getting the points clear? This condition was put before the Gupta rulers by the Saka rulers. So Ramagupta decided to surrender his wife Dhruva Devi. Now Ramagupta basically had a what we say brother named as Vikramaditya or Chandragupta II. Getting the points clear? Now Chandragupta II considered it as what we say it was a sort of disgrace for Guptas surrendering their queen, because if they have rulers like Samudragupta in the past who had the vision of conquering the entire India, the entire world, how can we surrender our pride to the Saka rulers? So they had a plan made. Now what was the plan? Now let us understand the plan that was executed. Now Ramgupta said to Saka rulers that yes, I am going to surrender my wife Dhruva Devi to you guys. Now there was a camp outside the Gupta kingdom. That was a Saka camp. Getting the points clear? Now Ramgupta, and disguised as a queen, Vikramaditya wore the attire of a queen. Getting the points clear? And entered into the camp with few soldiers. And it is said that the Saka ruler was dethroned and the Sakas was executed. And this is how basically it is said that the Gupta kingdom was saved from the wrath of Saka kingdom. Getting the points clear? Now it is said that few historians believe that Chandragupta II dethroned his brother Ramagupta and married Dhruva Devi, because he believed that if you cannot protect your queen, how will you protect the kingdom? Getting the points clear? And this entire incident has been mentioned in a book called as Devi Chandraguptam. I repeat, the entire incident has been mentioned in a book called as Devi Chandraguptam, written by Vishakha Dutt. Hope so the points are clear, my friends. Wasn't the story interesting? So few historians believe that Samudragupta was succeeded for a while by Ramagupta, but later on he was succeeded by Chandragupta II, that is Vikramaditya. Okay, now let us understand this. Now again Chandragupta II followed similar policy like his grandfather, that is Chandragupta I, policy of entering into matrimonial alliances to strengthen one's position. So he entered into the policy of matrimonial alliances. Now he married a Naga princess of central India whose name was Kuber Nag. Now listen to me very carefully. In the eastern part of India, Guptas were ruling. Getting the points clear? In central part of India, Nagas and Sakas were ruling. And in the western part of India, Sakas were ruling. Now listen to me very carefully. Now Chandragupta II married the Naga princess of central India whose name was Kuber Nag. So they came a step closer to Sakas. Getting the points clear? Now by entering into matrimonial alliances with Nagas, Nagas are going to help out Guptas against the Sakas. Are you understanding the strategy? Getting the points clear? Now, listen to me very carefully. Now, after marrying what we say Kuber Nag, he had a daughter named as Prabhavati Gupta from Kuber Nag. So, simple words, Chandragupta II and Kuber Nag had a daughter named as Prabhavati Gupta. Now, listen to the further part of the story. You'll understand things in a very easy format. Again, I'll repeat the points again. Chandragupta II was ruling in the eastern part of India, that is at Patliputra. He married the Naga princess from central India, that is Kuber Nag. Getting the points clear? From whom he had a daughter named as Prabhavati Gupta. And he came very close to the what we say Sakas. Now listen to me very carefully. Now in the what we say southern part of India, that is in the region of Maharashtra. Getting the points clear? or we can say the region of Maharashtra to the certain regions of Karnataka, there was Vakataka ruler, or there was Vakataka kingdom. Listen to me very carefully. There was a Vakataka kingdom. Now, he married his daughter Prabhavati Gupta to Vakataka ruler. Getting the points clear? Chandragupta II married his daughter Prabhavati Gupta to Vakataka prince, whose name was Rudrasen II. Hope so the points are clear. Again, he strengthened his position by entering into matrimonial alliances. Now, again, he came a step ahead to the close of his enemy, that is Saka ruler. Hope so the points are clear. Are you getting the points clear? Chandragupta II, listen to me very carefully. Chandragupta II married Naga princes of central India. Hope so the points are clear. From whom he had a daughter named as Prabhavati Gupta. He married Prabhavati Gupta to Vakataka ruler, that is Rudrasen II. Hope so the points are clear. So through policy of matrimonial alliances, now he is strengthening his position. Hope so the point is clear. Now listen to me very carefully. Few years after his daughter's marriage, Prabhavati Gupta's marriage, that is after the marriage of Prabhavati Gupta, his son-in-law died. Getting the points clear? It is said that the husband of Prabhavati Gupta, Rudrasen II, died. And now Prabhavati Gupta became the ruler of Vakataka kingdom. So in very simple words, indirectly Chandragupta II became the virtual ruler of Vakataka kingdom. Are you getting the points clear? Because Prabhavati Gupta was ruling over Vakataka kingdom, and indirectly all the policies were being directed by whom? Her father Chandragupta II. So Chandragupta II became the virtual ruler of this kingdom. Are the points clear? Please let me know if the story is clear till here. Yes, my friends, any query, any doubt, any question, ask me here itself before I move further. Dipesh, Shungas were not contemporary to Gupta. Shungas were contemporary to Mauryas. And basically it is said that Devi Chandraguptam was written by Vishakha Dutt. Getting the points clear? Now, I have also told about Mudra Rakshasa. It was also written by Vishakha Dutt. And it was basically written during Gupta period. So Guptas have defined the entire hierarchy before the Guptas. Getting the points clear? Dipesh, hope so I have answered your question. Okay. Now let's move further. I'll repeat the points again. I'll repeat the points again. Chandragupta II married the princess of central India, that is Naga princess of central India, whose name was Kuber Nag, from whom he had a daughter named as Prabhavati Gupta. Now, he married his daughter Prabhavati Gupta to a Vakataka ruler whose name was Rudrasen II. Few years later, Rudrasen II passed away, and after that, Prabhavati Gupta and Chandragupta II became the virtual ruler of Vakataka kingdom. Now again they came a very step close to their enemies Sakas. And now they have surrounded the Saka rulers from all the side. Getting the points clear? And it is said that the last Saka ruler, Rudrasimha III, was dethroned and killed. And again the entire western part of India came under the sway of Gupta rulers. Getting the points clear? This is how Gupta rulers extended their empire from east to west. Initially, they had one capital in the eastern part of India, that is at Patliputra. Now, they had one more capital in the western part of India, that is Ujjain. Getting the points clear? This is how, can you understand the strategy that Chandragupta II has used to dethrone his enemy, Sakas? Can you understand the patience? Can you understand the strategy that was employed by the ruler Chandragupta II? Getting the points clear? Now, I'll repeat the points again. Chandragupta II married Central Indian princess Kuber Nag, had a daughter named as Prabhavati Gupta, married Prabhavati Gupta to Rudrasen II, that is the Vakataka ruler. Few years later, Vakataka ruler passed away. Getting the points clear? So he became the virtual ruler, and now he attacked the kingdom of Saka and dethroned the last Saka ruler Rudrasimha III and acquired the entire western part of India. Now, eastern part of India, central part of India and western part of India came under the Gupta rulers. In the eastern part of India, they had their capital at a place called as Patliputra. And in the western part of India, they had a capital at a place called as Ujjain. Hope so the points are clear now. Let's move further. It is said that he issued a lot of gold coins and they were referred as dinar. He had patronized one of the major historians, one of the major poets, and one of the major courtiers whose name was Kalidas and Amar Simha. Now it is said that in one of his coins he is shown slaying a lion, that is killing a lion. That is why he is also called as Simha Vikram. This question is very important. This statement is very important from exam perspective because it has been asked which of the following Gupta rulers was referred as Simha Vikram. Getting the points clear? So it was nothing but Chandragupta II was referred as Simha Vikram. It basically means slayer of tiger. Hope so the points are clear. Now, there was a Chinese traveler whose name was Fahin. Fahin came to India during the reign of Chandragupta II. I repeat, Fahin, a Chinese traveler, came to India during the reign of Chandragupta II. Now let us understand how Fahin has mentioned about India in his travelogue. If you remember, I have talked in the what we say Mauryan dynasty about Megasthenes Indica. Getting the points clear? Megasthenes was a Greek ambassador who came to the court of Chandragupta Maurya and wrote a travelogue. And in his travelogue, he had described about India. Similarly, Fahin came from China to India. Getting the points clear? And he has mentioned something about Gupta dynasty in his travelogue. So let us understand this. Now, Fahin came to India through land and he went back to his country through sea. Listen to me very carefully. Fahin came to India through land and went back again to his country China through sea or via sea. Now, listen to me. Fahin left China. From China, he went to a place called as Kasghar. Kasghar is located on the borders of Afghanistan and Kyrgyzstan. From there, he went to a place called as Gandhar, which is located on the borders of Afghanistan and Pakistan. And from then, he entered into Punjab, India. Are you getting the points clear? He started his journey from a place called as Khotan in China. Then he moved to the border of Afghanistan and Kyrgyzstan, that is at a place called as Kasghar. Then he moved to a place called as Gandhar, that is in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And then he entered into India through Punjab. Getting the points clear? Now, what was the major purpose of coming to India? The major purpose of Fahin was basically to acquire Buddhist manuscripts from India. But Chandragupta II did not allow Fahin to take these manuscripts to China. Getting the points clear? So it is said that Fahin settled in Patliputra for some time. He studied these manuscripts and then he took the copy of these manuscripts to his country China. Getting the points clear? So the major purpose of Fahin coming to India from China was to acquire Buddhist manuscript. But he was not allowed to take these manuscripts. So he had to study these manuscripts basically in Patliputra itself. And then he took the copy of these manuscripts to his place. Getting the points clear? Now, it is said that how he had described about India or Gupta dynasty. It is said that during the reign of Gupta rulers, Hinduism was in vogue. There was lack of Buddhism in the region of Gangetic Valley. Gangetic Valley encompasses the region of eastern UP and Bihar. So it is said that at that point of time, during the reign of Gupta rulers, there was a revival of Hinduism or Brahminism. There was revival of Vedic practices. There was revival of Sanskrit language. Getting the points clear? And one more thing. Although Vaishnavism or Hinduism was in vogue, it does not mean that other religions were disrespected. There was equal respect for other religions like Buddhism as well as Jainism. He talked about socio-economic condition of the Gupta period. He talked about the religions of Gupta, but he was not very much interested in the political affairs of Gupta. He did not define administration much. Getting the points clear? and it is said that people lived a very wealthy life during Gupta period. Gupta era is also known as golden age of architecture in the ancient India, if you remember. So it is said that people lived a very wealthy life. So this is how Faheen has described India in his travelogue. Hope so the points are clear, my friends. Are you getting the points clear? I'll repeat the point about Faheen again. Faheen was a Chinese traveler who visited India during the reign of Chandragupta II. Getting the points clear? Now, he came from China, then he went to Afghanistan and Kyrgyzstan, came to Pakistan, and then entered into India through Punjab. Then, the basic purpose of coming into India was basically to acquire Buddhist manuscript. But he was not allowed to take the Buddhist manuscript. And he had to go, basically it is said that he stayed in Patliputra for some time. He studied those manuscripts and took the copy of those manuscripts to his place, China. Getting the points clear? He describes about the ruler Chandragupta II. He talks about the society. He talks about the religion. He talks about the economic condition. But very little has been mentioned about the political administration of Guptas in his travelogue. Getting the points clear? So this is how Faheen has described India in his travelogue. So hope so, my friends. Chandragupta II and Chinese traveler Faheen is clear. Now, what sort of questions can be asked in the UPSC exam? Consider the following statement about the ruler Chandragupta II. First, he was the first Gupta ruler to issue gold coins. Second, he is also referred as Simha Vikram because he is also referred as Simha Vikram, that is slayer of lion. And the third statement, Faheen, a Chinese traveler, visited during the reign of Chandragupta II. Which among the following statements are correct? My friends, statement number 2 and 3 are correct. Hope so the points are clear. This is how the questions are asked in the prelims exam. Hope so the points are clear, my friends. Any query, any question, any sort of doubt? Okay. Perfect, Sumit. Answer is 2 and 3. Perfect, Dipesh. Answer is 2 and 3. Perfect, Smita. Perfect, Mahesh. Okay. Now, let's move with the other ruler. So, Sri Gupta was the founder, followed by Chandragupta I, followed by Samudragupta, followed by Chandragupta II, followed by Kumar Gupta I. Now, listen to me very carefully. Hardly 2 minutes. So, we'll wrap up the rulers. Kumar Gupta I. Kumar Gupta I was succeeded by his father Chandragupta II, who was referred as basically Vikramaditya. Now it is said that he was worshipper of Lord Kartikeya. And who is Kartikeya? Kartikeya is the son of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva has two sons, that is Kartikeya and basically Lord Ganesh. So he was worshipper of Lord Kartikeya. Getting the points clear? Kartikeya is also referred as Lord Murugan in the southern part of India. Okay. Now it is said that he performed lot many Ashwamedh Yagna to expand his kingdom. That is why he is also referred as Mahendra Aditya or Ashwamedh Mahendra. And it is said that he laid the foundation of Nalanda University. Very, very important statement from exam perspective. Time and again it has been asked in various exams like UPSC Civil Services exam, CDS exam, CAPF exam. Who laid the foundation of Nalanda University? So it was Kumar Gupta I who laid the foundation of Nalanda University. Hope so the points are clear about Kumar Gupta I. Let's move with Skandagupta. Now it is said that slowly with the rule of Skandagupta, the Gupta Empire started getting shivered. And basically it is said that Huna started taking control over the Gupta territories. This person, Skandagupta, assumed the title Vikram Aditya like his father, like his grandfather, that is Chandragupta I. And we come to know about the ruler Skandagupta from Bhitari pillar inscription, which is located in Ghazipur, Uttar Pradesh. I repeat, we come to know about this person, Skandagupta, from Bhitari pillar inscription, Ghazipur, Uttar Pradesh. So these are major and the important rulers of Gupta dynasty. Okay, these are the major rulers of Gupta dynasty. Other rulers are Purugupt, Narsimhagut, Buddhagupt, and Vishnugupta or Bal Aditya. Hope so the points are clear. And Hunas finally destroyed the Gupta Empire. Hope so you understood the Gupta rulers. Hope so the pattern was interesting and you understood it easily. Are you getting the points clear? Yes. Kalyan, you have asked me a question. Any Indian traveler who visited other kingdoms? Yes, my friends. For example, if I've talked about uh, in the Mauryan dynasty, I've talked about Ashoka. That Ashoka sent missionaries to various other countries to spread the message of Buddhism. So there were many, what we say, ambassadors also being sent by Indian rulers to the other kingdoms as well. Getting the points clear? No specific names have been mentioned, but yes, there were many missionaries in the name of religion being sent. There were many ambassadors who are also being sent to other kingdoms. Hope so, Kalyan, I have answered your question. Yes, Mahesh, I will provide the PDF. I'll provide the PDF in the comment box. So, my friends, did you understood the session? Did you understood the Gupta, what we say, rulers? Any query, any question, any sort of doubt? Yes, Kalyan, the language that was dominant during the Gupta period was Sanskrit. Because I've told you, Gupta period saw the revival of Hinduism practices. Getting the points? Yes, my friends, any queries, any doubts? So we are done for the day. Now, we'll be going with the Gupta Empire part 2 day after tomorrow. I'll repeat the points again, my friend. Tomorrow there is a test. There is a mini mock test on three major topics. That is Vedic civilization, Mauryan Empire, and Jainism, as a part of special class on Unacademy learning app or on the Unacademy platform. The test is completely free. Please do attend the session because the discussions during the test are very, very important. It would be a sort of revision for you guys. So I'll repeat the points again. There is a mini mock test on three major topics: Vedic civilization, Mauryan Empire, and the third one is Jainism. Please do attend the test at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow. Hope so the point is clear. The next class, Mahesh, would be day after tomorrow. The timing would be 7 o'clock. Tomorrow would be test on Unacademy platform. Everyone, please attend the test. It's completely free. Okay. Hope so the points are clear, my friends. Okay. Thank you and have a very nice day. Please use my code AKOUS. I repeat the code AKOUS. Thank you and have a nice day.